Greetings, dear Aquarians. With you is me, your tarot reader, Angelica. Today is the second tarot reading for February 2025. The readings on the channel Tarot Life are general. By the way, your forecast for February 2025, you can check both your zodiac sign and your ascendant. You can calculate your ascendant yourself on the internet. It's very easy to do. Well, let's start. Let's move confidently into February 2025. And to move confidently, also check your forecast for the first half of 2025. The link is above. So let's begin. First, let's look at the 3 most important events that will very likely happen in your life in February 2025. The first important event. Second, and the third important event. Next. With another deck, let's see what awaits you and uncover new possibilities. In the professional sphere, approximately in February 2025. Also with this deck, we'll see what awaits you financially, what your income will be in February, perhaps. And let's see how your personal life will unfold, what awaits you in relationships. With this same deck, we'll explore in detail what you should pay attention to regarding your health and well-being in February 2025. And with this same deck, advice from the card for you for February. So, let's begin. The first important event for you is the Page of Cups. The second important event is the Four of Swords. And the third important event is the Six of Wands. Well, in terms of events, everything looks quite good. If, for example, you've long dreamed of taking a break, then February would be a very good time to do so. And take note, the Four of Swords is right in the center of important events, and it emphasizes the theme of rest, recovery. And perhaps it's worth focusing on your health. Maybe pay attention to yourself or perhaps to planning. That is, make plans for the future and think them through thoroughly. Also, this card may indicate that you need to recuperate. Perhaps this is recovery after surgery if you have had an operation. Perhaps this recovery comes after some upheavals if you've experienced any. Well, basically, the card suggests that you need to take some time to rest, recover, and relaxation and recuperation, and wait until your strength is fully restored. This card can also manifest as a very deep immersion and intense focus and concentration on a particular idea that you are, let's say, thinking through, nurturing and contemplation, carefully nurturing and planning and strategizing for its realization on this idea. And that creates such a deep focus. If we look at the first important event, although it will not necessarily be exactly the first, but let's say one of the events, then Pash. The Cups card suggests that there may be a meeting with a young man or a young woman, or some event that will give you a sensual impulse. You know how they say it will touch every fiber of your soul. And this event, this meeting, this interaction, this infatuation, tenderness, and sensuality will kind of fill you with positive emotions and allow you to become more open. So indeed, the card speaks of some kind of passion, and this passion is quite enjoyable. Also, with the Page of Cups, among these important events, there can be very good news indeed, enticing offers, invitations, and desires to take care of someone, a desire to envelop someone in tenderness. But at the same time, this can also be creative self-expression, some very interesting creative idea that will also fill you with very pleasant, positive emotions. Another important event, according to the Page of Cups, could be about good news, events, or positive happenings related to your family, your loved ones, and dear ones. It can also indicate active interaction with your children. And this card also speaks about dates and some very interesting opportunities for you. Perhaps it's about unlocking your creative potential, or maybe surrendering to, let's say, true feelings, infatuation, and so on. And perhaps there could be an offer here, a chance for new collaboration that is quite interesting for you. Well, the Six of Wands in general, a stunning card. This is the card of winners, the card of victory, the card that shows you are seen by everyone. You attract attention and receive various kinds of rewards. So the Six of Wands indicates that you've gone through a certain period. Perhaps this period was problematic. Maybe it was some situations that you have been working on and resolving. But in any case, now you are, let's say, the master of triumph. You're riding on a white horse and all possible horizons are opening up before you. So basically, the Six of Cups indicates that there was a period of struggle, work, and that has now passed. The difficulties have been overcome. You've stood your ground, so to speak, and claimed your place in the sun. You've achieved your victory. And now you can look forward to the rewards you deserve. So this card signifies that what's important for you will be this victory in this achievement of success, triumph, and receiving public recognition. It's about popularity and fame. And this card also indicates that some very important and good news may be coming your way. Next, let's see what awaits you in your professional life with the King of Swords and what your income will look like with the Six of Swords. The King of Swords always embodies a certain level of activity and strives to uncover things for himself, either new knowledge or new opportunities. So most likely this will be a period when you'll not only be unlocking your inner potential, but you'll also be clarifying everything, so to speak. In February 2025, you may find yourself making the most unpopular decisions in your professional life, but again, only if you see their logic and justification. Very often, politicians, doctors, and military personnel act this way, so making some very important decisions very suddenly. We can also say that with the King of Swords, for some, this card will manifest as gaining a certain level of authority. Alternatively, the Six of Pentacles suggests that you need to earn authority, show yourself, and be winners. And it's also quite likely that you'll be organizing things at your workplace. Usually with the King of Swords, and especially with the Six of Wands here, this indicates getting a high position. It's a position where you have the right to dictate your terms, and in general, to penalize those who do not meet these requirements and conditions or who violate them in any way or regulations. And the King of Swords can also reflect someone such as a managerial figure, a high-status person, a boss, a lawyer, or an attorney, or a person of authority, a high-ranking official, perhaps a military person. And then, without a doubt, you will be interacting with this man, this King of Swords, in terms of work. And this could manifest as a consultation, Uta, that you need. It might play out as an evaluation of you at your workplace, or in the best case, it could be about receiving protection. The King of Swords can also represent a struggle for power. Here, the Six of Wands is a card of struggle and coming out as a winner, meaning gaining that power and climbing the career ladder. Next, regarding your income, the Six of Swords indicates that there is income, but let's say it's average income. So the payments here could be one time, or perhaps based on results. In some cases, or you could say the sufficiency of income. However, if you're in business, keep in mind that the Six of Swords can play out negatively. But here, negatively, it means that money is slipping away, so it might be necessary. Then, it's a very difficult, important decision, you know. Or you might need to cut something out, or redo something, or come up with a strategy to improve your financial income here. Next, let's take a look. Next, what awaits you in your personal life? The Six of Pentacles, a clear lack of love, care, tenderness, affection, and this card can play out in several ways. These options are quite diverse. Well, for example, it can play out as the attachment between two partners, but they are kind of attached to each other. However, they suffer and feel like they are together, but in a rose of loneliness together. Although they understand that as a result of certain events, it's still easier for them to be together, to live, to survive, and to solve some issues. The card can also indicate that during this period you simply lack love, or you might feel rejected, or there's coldness in the relationship, or you're just tired of each other and see your partner as something that hinders you. But judging by this card, since the symbolism of the card is very important, if a person stands alone, I would say that it can play out. This is the first one. How is that? A breakup with each other? Either temporary or final. Maybe your partner has gone somewhere, maybe on a business trip, or perhaps you had a fight and that's how it is. Or maybe it's just for a little while longer, perhaps. You had a fight, slammed the door, and went to live with your parents. Yes, and this kind of temporary separation, or it can play out in such a way that you, for example, are feeling unwell. And as they say, you're not really in the mood for love because you have the Four of Swords, a clear need for rest, for self-recovery. There can also be some problems related to finances. And if, as I mentioned regarding business here with the Six of Swords, there can be a feeling that money is slipping away, that there isn't enough money, or some unexpected expenses, then of course, again, when the focus is on problems, well, it's like there's no time for love, no time for tenderness and sensuality. Or it can play out as the Five of Swords, like in February, which is just, there's no development in the relationship. So there is a relationship, you are together, but you are dissatisfied with the relationship, unhappy with the lack of resources. The resources in this situation are love, time, and care for each other. So in personal relationships, everything is quite tense. However, it can play out in such a way that you decide on some issue, some problem, and then you come together even more to solve that problem. Then the card indicates that these are temporary difficulties. Once you overcome a certain problem, your relationship will be restored. Let's take a look further. What can you expect in terms of health? What should you pay attention to in terms of health? Here we have the major arcana card, the Magician. And the Magician, it usually indicates that health is very good, representing vitality, good, well-being, and excellent shape. However, in this combination of cards, I would also say that the Magician can represent a doctor. And then the Four of Swords indicates that you are not feeling well, and you need to see a doctor to either get the right diagnosis or perhaps undergo treatment. Or you could even go to a sanatorium, which would also be great. But if you really feel bad, then according to Arcane Magician, you can still expect a favorable outcome from the treatment. You will recover, and there won't be any health problems. But at the same time, pay attention to the Four of Swords. You really need to pay special attention to your health and take care of yourself. Rest, rebuild, recover. Next, let's take a look. Next, this is the advice from the card about you, the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords speaks of a lack of freedom. Yes, here there might be some kind of lack of freedom. Lack of freedom, perhaps in finances. Maybe finances will be spent on treatment or recovery, or on a trip, or to a sanatorium, or perhaps on a journey somewhere specifically to recover and rest. Maybe something else. Money will be spent on your well-being. The Eight of Swords is exactly saying that it seems like you will be going through a difficult period in February. This is basically what the bottom of the deck is saying. The Nine of Wands, she says that there is some kind of tension in February, and regarding this tension, you might feel a lack of freedom. However, I want to show you that another deck, which is involved in the reading, is at the bottom of the deck. Here we have the major arcana Strength, and Strength always means victory. And you have another card, the Six of Wands, the Victory card. What is this card? What is this? They say that there is a certain, let's say, period that tests your patience and endurance. And after going through this period, you will achieve victory. And that means you will be able to get out of this. Here is the lack of freedom. You will be able to find the right way out or the right solution. Well, the advice of this card is precisely to take small steps, meaning to move forward gradually, to look for a way out of those situations that seem limiting to you. Somewhere, perhaps, in terms of finances, you might need to tighten your belt to limit ourselves in some way. Well, for example, when it comes to health, you might want to limit yourself in terms of physical activity because the Four of Swords indicates that you will need rest in February. And another important piece of advice from the Eight of Swords is that by changing our attitude towards something in our lives, we can significantly change our life as a whole. So that's the forecast I have for you, dear Aquarians. Subscribe to the channel Torah of Life. I will be very happy to have you. And I sincerely thank you for watching, subscribing, your likes and comments. That's all. See you tomorrow. Hugging you. Goodbye.